Many Jews today feel the need for a Jewish renaissance. People are searching for a more vital and authentic mode of Jewish expression, and more than ever we need to shift not only physically but spiritually out of exile mode. This is Torah Nation TV from Jerusalem, and we are speaking with the head of Machon Shilo, Rabbi David Bar-Hayim. Shalom, Rabbi Bar-Hayim.
Shalom.
Recently, the former chief rabbi of Israel, Rabbi Yona Metzger, was arrested and questioned in connection with allegations of fraud, theft, and other improprieties. Is there a lesson to be learned from this shocking development?
I think the major lesson to be learnt, apart from the obvious one, and that is that the entire procedure, the way in which chief rabbis and the entire institution of the chief rabbinate, how it comes to be formed, how it is constituted, how people are elected, etc. Apart from that very obvious lesson, there is another major lesson here, I believe, and that is the question, or the answer to the question, how on earth did someone like Rav Metzger get to the position of being chief rabbi of the state of Israel? As many of the viewers will probably know, Rabbi Metzger is charged with many very, very serious crimes, and some of these go back, in fact, many years, even before his election to the post of chief rabbi in 2003. Before that time, he was already under scrutiny and investigation for his role in pushing through and authorizing totally invalid conversions of people who were plainly not serious and had no intention of being Jewish in any shape, way or form, and marrying such people, or marrying a Jew to such a person, and doing all this simply for money. He was bribed. To give a few details, one example, a Israeli Jewish businessman in Romania who owned a chain of stores wished to marry a Romanian woman, a non-Jewish woman. He came before the Beit Din in Romania and stated his desire that this person be converted so that they could be married. This woman at the time, it should be noted, was pregnant. She was asked as to her pregnancy, and she said that she had had previous relations with non-Jewish men. And seeing that this gentleman in question was a Kohen, the Beit Din informed them that, seeing that he is a Kohen, a woman who has had relations with a non-Jewish man may not marry a Kohen, and therefore the entire matter is out of the question. He came then to the Beit Din in Yerushalayim in Israel, went through the same procedure, and he was told exactly the same thing. He then turned to Rav Metzger, who, miraculously as it were, was able to arrange for a snap giur, a snap conversion, and he himself also officiated at the wedding of these two people. He, in fact, and his driver served as the Eidim, the witnesses on the Ketubah. When later Beit Din asked on what basis this conversion was done, or the answer was given was that there was in fact no conversion. In fact, the woman was Jewish all along. When asked how, on what basis did he know that this woman was in fact Jewish, he said that he had information from a certain rabbi, an unknown rabbi in Dijon in France, that this woman was a Jewess, the daughter of a Jewess. And when this rabbi in Dijon was contacted and asked, did he have such documents, or could these documents be viewed, he said that the documents were lost. Of course, this doesn't explain how a rabbi in Dijon happens to know that a non-Jewish woman from Romania is the Jewess, the daughter of a Jewess. This remains unexplained. That is just one example of the kinds of activities that Rav Metzger is guilty of. But this, as I said, goes back many years, even before he was actually elected to the position of chief rabbi. What happened in 2003 was the following. As the elections approached, it was clear that the chief rabbi of Ramat Gan, Rav Yaakov Ariel, a very serious Tamid Chachamim, not from the Haredi camp, but from the national religious camp, was about to be elected as Ashkenazi chief rabbi. And it was clear that he had enough votes in the electoral body to win this election. And then at the last moment, the leading rabbi, or one of the leading rabbis certainly of the Haredi world, HaRav Yosef, Shalom Elyashiv Zetzal, got involved. He was concerned that Rav Ariel, being of a Zionist religious persuasion, would, as has been the case in Israel since Tafresh Mem Tet, since 1889, that he would facilitate a heter mechira for shemitah, that is to say, a halachic procedure whereby it makes the working of the land during the sabbatical year permissible. This is, of course, not a new procedure, as I say, and it has been done by all chief rabbis throughout the history of the State of Israel, and in fact for many decades before that. Rav Elyashiv, as is well known, opposed this halachic procedure known as the heter mechira, and he decided to turn to Rav Metzger, an unknown rabbi, and said to him as follows: if you promise me that you will not facilitate the heter mechira regarding the sabbatical year, I will throw all my weight behind your candidacy, and I will convince many people to vote for you, and you'll become Rav Rashi. This is what was done, and in this manner Rav Metzger became the Rav Rashi of the State of Israel. What I'm driving at is the tremendous lack of vision and the very serious short-sightedness of Rav Elyashiv in this particular case. It was because of his adamant and well-founded, one might add, opposition to the heter mechira. Well-founded because many great Torah authorities over the last century plus have opposed the heter mechira, just as many very great Torah authorities have supported it. Because of Rav Elyashiv's opposition to the heter mechira, he put all other issues aside. He apparently did not look into the question of who this Rav Metzger actually was, although he clearly knew that this person was not a serious Torah scholar by any standard, by any means at all. He was basically unknown, and his election to this post was universally viewed as a bit of a joke. And this, by the way, probably also didn't bother Rav Elyashiv, because the Haredi world in general wishes the Rabbanut HaRashit to be viewed as a joke. And this, I might add, I can even understand to some extent, because it is definitely an institution which needs essentially to be shut down and started again, to be rebooted, as it were. The institution as it stands is terribly problematic, without a doubt. Nevertheless, it is the fact that Rav Elyashiv, due to his opposition to the heter mechira, was willing to put all other considerations aside and block the election of a very serious and respectable Torah scholar, Rav Yaakov Ariel, who, it is without a doubt true, would have facilitated an heter mechira, just as every Rav Rashi in history did, and many Rabbanim before the State of Israel also did so, starting in 1889. But it's also true that he would have been a serious and respectable candidate for this position, and without a doubt would have brought honor and respect to the institution and to the Torah and to Judaism. Instead of this, because of this issue of the heter mechira, and only because of this issue, and this is all very well known and documented, Rav Elyashiv chose to turn to this individual, Rav Metzger, and offered him this deal, which Rav Metzger, of course, was quick to accept, and this led to the election of an individual who has since proved himself to be not just a joke, but a great disgrace to the Torah world. At present, Rav Metzger is under investigation and it's almost certain will go to trial in the not too distant future on charges of fraud and theft involving millions of shekel of money which he helped to raise for charitable institutions that were supposedly channeling that money towards orphans, widows, and the like. And in fact, the money was being channeled into his pocket and into the pockets of the heads of certain organizations with whom he was working. The allegations and the facts as they are already known at this time are much too conclusive to reject out of hand or to suggest that there is some doubt as to the truth of the matter. The facts are already quite well known. The police had an undercover operation going for some time, during which time conversations were recorded, etc. The facts are all very well known. The problem here is not really, therefore, just Rav Metzger. The problem in this case is the short-sighted position of a great Gaon in Torah, such as Rav Elyashiv Zetzal, who was willing to put aside all other considerations because of one issue, one halachic issue, which, according to the vast majority of poskim, including Rav Elyashiv himself, is not even a misvah min HaTorah at this point in time. It's a misvah midivrei soferim. The whole inyan of Shemitah, the sabbatical year, is not min HaTorah at this time at this point in history. And as a result, a great disgrace and shame has been brought down on the Jewish people and the Torah world, and the institution of the chief rabbinate has been brought even lower than it was before. And this is a tremendous Hilul Hashem. And as Hazal state plainly, Ehad HaShover Ehad HaMezid BeHilul Hashem. When one causes a Hilul Hashem, even if one does so inadvertently without intending to do so, this is a very, very serious matter.
Does the Rav think that HaRav Elyashiv Zatzal was aware of Rav Metzger's reprehensible actions prior to the election for chief rabbi?
No, and most emphatically I don't think so for one moment. But I do think that Rav Elyashiv should have been aware of his actions. In other words, seeing that there were already rumors and the word was out even before that time regarding Rav Metzger's very dubious character. Before you decide to appoint, as it were, or cause or bring about the election of a person as chief rabbi, it is your duty to investigate thoroughly who exactly this person is, in order to ascertain that this person will not bring great shame and disgrace to the Jewish nation and cause a tremendous Hilul Hashem. And this is exactly what did not happen.
Do HaRav Elyashiv Zatzal's actions reflect upon Haredi Judaism as a whole?
Again, emphatically, I think the answer must be yes. I think that the Haredi world is very guilty of focusing on certain very specific issues, all of which are important, and yet they are only part of the bigger picture. Whereas the bigger picture, that is to say the state of the Jewish nation, the future direction of the Jewish nation, and also the actual status and health of the Haredi community itself, these things are often overlooked, and this is most unfortunate. But I don't think it's only the Haredi world that is guilty of doing such things. I think that equally one could point to the religious Zionist world and point to the fact that certain issues are held in a very high esteem, above and beyond their true objective value and weight in the larger picture, at the expense of other issues. In general, we need always to adopt a balanced and objective position and outlook on all matters and all issues that affect the Jewish world, and all Torah issues and questions of halakha. All questions in halakha are serious, but of course some are more serious than others, and sometimes you may gain a small victory in one area but pay a very great price and suffer great defeat in another arena, and therefore one has to look at the bigger picture and weigh one's words and measure one's actions appropriately. And this, I feel, is not always being done as it should be. And in this particular case of Rav Metzger and Rabbi Elyashiv, we see the tragic and lamentable consequences.
Thank you, Rabbi Bar-Hayim. We would like to suggest the following opportunity to our viewers. If you identify with Rabbi Bar-Hayim's message and would like to sponsor or dedicate a video interview with the rabbi in honor or memory of a loved one, if you would like to obtain Nusach Eretz Yisrael or invite the rabbi for a speaking engagement, please email us at office@machonshilo.org.